What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the MarketAbilities podcast. I'm your host, Wyatt Sherwin, here with the king of the pod, Lucas.
Hello. We are back.
Yeah,
we're back.
We're back, and we're better than ever, man. You know,
Yeah.
the summer is over. The summer is
Almost,
over, man.
Yeah. You know what's funny is my daughter went up to the door the other morning. She looked outside the door and she just said, "Fall is coming." And I was like, "Are you okay?" She loves
That's like
she loves fall.
That's like some Jon Snow, the winter's coming, or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Dude. Oh my god,
Yeah.
man. But anyway, like with the changing of the seasons, I feel like, you know, it's time to get more out of that comfortability area, and, you know, kind of put your foot on the gas more through these months, so you can have a better summer next year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have a little more bread in your pocket. So I think both of us can probably agree, you know, coming up, like in high school, it kind of taught us that cycle in our head of like, you know, whenever it gets cold out, that's when you're in school. That's when you're there, like, what is it, 9-10 hours a day? It's like,
I don't know. It feels like 14.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
No, it is a long day, long day. So, you know, the days do get shorter in a literal sense, but they also get a little longer.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I've actually got a couple questions for you today.
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
So I'm about to go back to school, or I guess this would be my first time actually attending a university, because I've been at junior college. So,
but is this your second year of college or third year?
This will be my third, but I'm technically like 3.5 academically.
Yeah,
so
right. Okay.
I'm on pace for probably a 1.5 graduation. But but yeah, so, you know, when I was thinking about it, I had a lot of questions going through my head when I graduated junior college. I was like, do I really need a college education to go and, you know, make an impact on the world, to make a good amount of money? And I'm looking at these people who graduated when I did, and they're working jobs in, you know, let's say construction or whatever else. Yeah. And they're making insane, like, to me, insane salaries, like, for sure, 50,000-60,000 a year is insane currently.
Especially where we live too.
Yeah. Definitely. So when I saw that, it really provoked the question in my head, like, do I really like want to go back to school? Do I really want to spend this money? So I guess, like, from, you know, my perspective, I'm not even done with school yet. So I kind of wanted to run some questions by you and see how you felt about them.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So the first, and, you know, straight to the point, do you think a college degree is needed to get a good paying job?
Yes and no. So here, I'll explain both sides of it. So yes, on the circumstances of you, if you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, something where you legally have to have those degrees to even practice or do your work according to the law. Yes, absolutely. And there's a big reason for that, is because there's so many things, and you have to be good. Like, if you want to be a doctor or a nurse or whatever, you are literally holding people's lives in your hands. Yeah. Like, so if you're not well trained, and if you didn't go through rigorous courses and activities to, you know, and for people to sign off and like, okay, yeah, you can save this person, or, you know, you can trust people's lives in your hands. Yes. If it isn't according to something like that, no, I don't think you have to go to school. Okay. Should you go to school? I think that's ultimately up to the person and how they learn. I think there are a lot of people and we won't dive into this too deep because I don't want to, we can go down a rabbit hole, but with the current school system and how we learn, we become very dependent learners. In the aspect of, like, we are dependent on someone telling us this task to do and how to do it. But there are ways to become a self-learner. And I think that is something that we all need to adapt and learn. Because I don't know what the statistic is, but it's like, once people graduate high school or college or whatever, they read like maybe a book a year. You know what I mean?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like maybe not even that.
No, that's generous.
Yeah,
I think.
And it's because people don't learn how to self-learn, like how to do continuous learning on your own. Yeah. And so ultimately, I think that yes, it's great for some people, and I think it's better because you have a schedule, and that like helps people get focused.
Yeah.
Because whenever you're self-learning and you're just jumping on YouTube, your mind's going everywhere. You can't focus.
Yeah. Like it builds integrity.
You're right.
And it's like instilled in you.
Right.
There's no, for lack of a better term, the free will side of it kind of gets cut out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because, if you're not naturally a driven person or a motivated person, and it's time for you to hold yourself accountable to do things.
Yeah.
Things could get dicey really quick. And I think that the school system in America saw that during COVID.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. When you sent kids home with laptops, you said, have this done by this date, but there's nobody screaming at them. I mean, I had someone screaming at me. My mom was, but a lot of families that they're just like, the kids are like, I got my schoolwork done today, Mom. And then, the mom's like, well, prove it. And the kid's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, that kind of took out the structure.
It did, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there is something great about structure. So like that's why like I don't like hate school or anything, because what it does is it provides a structure of sort. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily agree that is the right structure, but it is a structure, and so that's why I think some people learn a lot better with that type of structure there, rather than, because see, like I'm not actually a naturally self-driven person. I've had to work on it. I grew up very dependent. I was well taken care of by my mom and dad. So I grew up very dependent on just things were just there. Like we always had food. We always had this. We always had that. You know what I mean? And so I've had to like totally turn myself on my head to be a freelancer and to be some sort of entrepreneur, because I just grew up, in that sense of like, this is your next step. But whenever you start your own business, you don't know what your next step is. Like, because it's it's a variable, Yeah. So yes, you can. It's a tough road. Yeah. You can do it without school. But what's the great thing is that there are professionals out there who have courses and teachings on literally exactly what you want to do.
I got a question about that for you.
Yeah. Okay. Too. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So we'll move on. Yeah. But what about you? Because you're about to go into college, into business.
What do I think?
Yeah. What do you think?
So I've never grappled with it more than this year, because I'd always had it instilled in me that like you're going to college, non-negotiable. And I think that that's kind of how most families are nowadays. It's like, you get preached to, like kids don't even, you don't even really grasp the idea of college. And then that leads to kids going to school and not trying as hard or not getting everything out of it. And especially in like, not to knock, like, I mean, I'm having financial assistance with my degree.
Totally.
But when someone pays for it and you have no skin in the game, then you're like, oh, like there's all these parties and kids around me, like not kid, like people your age around you, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you push away, any form of work, because it's like, oh, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, like I'm sliding by, but in reality, you're wasting not only, like financial ammunition, but like also, like time. Yeah. Like so much time.
Right.
I think it's entirely to a point with school, after looking at all these different business schools and all their different accreditations, and like, one's higher than the other and one costs more because it's a better education. I think that there's, it's entirely, you get out what you put in.
Oh, 100%.
Input, output. But that's life.
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah. You don't have to be at the most accredited business school in America. You don't have to be at Cambridge. You can be at SIU. Yeah. And, still go on to do amazing things, because you show up to school, you cared about the material, you grinded, you didn't miss a class, you didn't miss an assignment. It's like, and you built connections too. Right. So, but I think over the course of time, that has kind of changed. Do you think like a college degree is as worth more today as it was, 50 years ago?
I would say overall no, but I would say it's also in the it sounds cheesy, but it's like the eye of the beholder, right? So it's like, how much value do you put on it, and like how do you use it? Like, are you actually using the knowledge and the things that you learned, or are you forgetting it the week after you do it? and just trying to get through school so that you can go get a job. So it's an attitude and an intention, you know. And it's interesting you brought up the financial aid thing, because what came to mind first for me was there's an entrepreneur that I follow, and he gave an example, but he started out with this quote, and it's, if you know, whenever you pay attention. So if you are actually the one paying for it, not your financial aid, say like you couldn't get financial aid, so whatever, something happened, you couldn't get scholarships or whatever, and you are paying for it yourself, I feel like you're going to pay a lot more attention. Yeah. Because that money's coming out of your pocket and your work. And he even ran a test. He does like courses and all sorts of stuff. And he had a particular course where he shows you how to build an online business or whatever. He released it for free. All those people that went and got it for free did nothing with it. He changed it to $500. All those people that paid $500, like statistically, they did a lot better and actually built the business because they paid for it. They're like, if I'm going to spend money on this, I'm going to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some truth in that for sure. When it comes to, you know, being invested, and you know, time alone is an investment, but not everyone realizes that. Everybody realizes that money is a very direct.
That's also investment. Your time.
Yeah.
Like the money is your time that's your previous time.
Yeah.
You know,
you spent time earning that. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean, time and money are hand in hand. I feel like, you know?
Well, just about. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of the entire purpose of trying to achieve financial freedom. I feel like, it's so you have more time to do stuff you care about, like be with your family or, you know, do X, Y, Z. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like, but the other part I was asking with that question is like, you know, think back to like your parents and maybe even your grandparents. I feel like a college degree was more, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it was more rare.
It was, and I think it gave you a little bit more of like a one up, I guess, on the competition, on trying to get hired somewhere. Yeah. You know,
I think
because I know that my dad especially pushed for me to get a bachelor's degree until he really realized, like in the industry that I was trying to go into in the audio field, like you don't need it. Like no one cares. Yeah. No one cares in the audio industry whether if you have a bachelor's degree. They care if you can get the job done, you can do it well and in a timely manner.
They care about your work experience and like your previous performances.
Right. Yeah. Because really, what's that piece of paper going to tell you? Not much.
No.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you go, I mean, that's actually so true. Like you go and get a high school degree. It's like, you know, you could have slept through class. You could have, you know, I mean, there's obviously exceptions with certain schools, like holding their kids to higher standards, but those are mostly like outrageously priced. Yeah. And like, you know, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like when you think about it like that, it starts to make some sense. But, okay, so I guess piggybacking off that, like if you were hiring someone, would you take into account like their degree? Like let's say someone's John, age 34, you know, 5 years in the game, no degree. Mike, age 34, you know, 5 years in the game, bachelor's of, you know, audio or whatever.
Okay, so let's clarify who I'm hiring for what. So am I hiring an audio engineer to assist me on my projects? Is that what I'm doing? Okay. Yeah. It would definitely be down to two things: experience and the final products that they've worked on. If I'm going to hire an assistant to set up my mixing sessions, to, you know, set up the recording sessions and basically get them ready for me, I want to see what they've done before, and I want to know how long they've done it for. Those are the only two things. I don't care about a degree, especially in the audio field. But if I'm hiring, like for example, if I am hiring like an accountant, I'm going to look for a degree, honestly. Like
that's fair.
And I'm going to look at their past work and who they've worked for and call those people and see how they are. But yeah, when it comes to like an audio or video guy, I just want to see your work. That's all I care about. Yeah. Is the work good? Yeah, let's go. Like, and like, can you get it done in a timely manner? Unlike that person that we heard about who shot a Christmas commercial and then got it done in March somehow. Yeah. Yeah. See, I wouldn't hire someone like that.
Yeah. That's pretty fair. You know,
even if the work is good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait 4 months for something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like going back to what we said, like you can't be waiting forever because that's that's your time as well.
Right.
But I think that a degree probably holds more weight whenever they're doing something, and it's not trying to knock it, but something less creative, like where it's like, like accounting, like you have XYZ variables every time. You have a piece of paper or an Excel sheet that you fill out, get your numbers right, you crunch them, and that's it. That's your job, is just not to make a mistake and just get it done.
Yeah.
With I mean, in something like audio engineering, or I mean, like something. What about like maybe a personality or a talent, whatever. Like that's not something that like a degree is going to really carry a lot of weight. They're going to look at. They're going to look at your portfolio of like, okay, like this guy's done this, he's accomplished so and so, like he cares, he's a good person, what I'm saying? Like it all kind of adds up. References, I think all that might be more valuable than the degree itself.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But that degree could come with references, that's a big part.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like, I don't want to knock the, something you mentioned earlier is the connections that you make whenever you are getting your degree can be like lifelong connections and end up catapulting your career just because you got to know this one person. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah. But like, but that could always like happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not as likely. Like you're probably not going to get as close with people going straight into the job force out of high school in comparison to going to school and still kind of being a kid and networking, socializing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a job environment, it's more structured. There's not as much free will. There's not as much, actually genuinely getting to know each other. So yeah, I do think that is a slight advantage. That's a point college, like in terms of, who you get to know. But with that being said, you can't be stuck up in your dorm. You can't only go to class. You got to participate.
Yeah.
Otherwise that's null.
Yeah. And I mean, even with you doing business stuff at school, I mean, it wouldn't even be bad if you just got to know everybody. Yeah. Because everybody's going to be working for a business or starting a business.
Yeah, everybody is literally...
That's just how it works.
Everyone's on the same career path, you know what I'm saying? Or like different... it's even better that it's like not the exact same degree. It's like there's someone who's, operations management or an accounting major. Yeah. Like those will all be great pieces to a team. That's how you build a team. Right. Not everyone's an integrated marketing major. Yeah, right. You need to check all the boxes. Yeah. And I mean, absolutely. Obviously a lot of it comes down to like we said, their participation and like how focused they are during class and do they care. But after you talk to them and you pick their brain a little bit about what they know, I'm sure on the side, you're also going to figure out a little bit of like who they are as a person. Yeah. And what they'll bring to the table. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 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 So, I mean, but like looking at a different route. Okay. Like, cause we both, I think I don't know how much YouTube you watch. I watch it. I watch a good amount.
It's a good amount. I'm not as much as I used to. Yeah.
Yeah. But
because I have a family now.
Yeah. I'd probably take away a little bit of screen time, but yeah. So, it's becoming more and more common nowadays. And I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast the other day, which is, the second greatest podcast besides ours.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers, the numbers.
Numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. And he had on Jordan Peterson, and he's this, do you know who that is?
I love Jordan Peterson.
I love Jordan Peterson too. I mean,
speaking about school, did you see what he just announced?
His university.
Yeah, his university just opened up. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Dope. Okay,
like, dude,
go ahead.
Because he was talking about it, and like look, man, I've been on YouTube since like 2014, maybe before that, so like a decade now, and like I've seen these scammer courses like come and go, like
for sure,
come learn to drop ship, never work a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
and there's something like, not knocking the Tates, but like I feel like they play into their brand image a little too much, and I feel like it's a little too much like picking on weaker minded men.
Yeah, for sure.
Like men that are desperate for validation.
Oh, 100%.
And he started talking about his university, Jordan Peterson did, and I you know, part of my brain like switched off. I was like, oh, another course scam.
Yeah.
And when he was talking about it, I was like, you know what? Like, it sounds like there's a lot of accreditation that comes with this. It sounds like there's a lot of like structured accountability.
Yeah.
Like they ran like a demo of it, and they were able to catch cheaters, and it's not through a webcam. It's not through like anything else. And he won't tell you how he catches them.
Right.
Because then you'll figure out a way around it.
Yeah.
But you know, that's probably smart. You know, like he can bust you if you're not paying attention, or if you got your phone out, if you're doing, and
that's crazy.
And then also like the amount of connections that he has, you know, and like the respect that he's garnered, as well as the other professors on that platform.
Well, and the price that he was able to get it down to.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you even saw that.
I think it
is a fraction.
It was like, it's way cheaper than a college degree.
Even cheaper than community college.
Yeah. But like, I'm personally like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it later if like, you know, like, because if they send a ship up to Mars, I'm not gonna be on the first ship. I'm probably gonna be on like the third or fourth. You know what I'm saying? So I want to kind of, that's just kind of the person I am.
You think you're that important that you be on the
no
because I was thinking like 14,024 is probably the one I'll end up
or
on.
4 million, something crazy. But yeah, I kind of like to watch and like see if it's really worth it, because you know, the internet, the one thing that I'll say the internet does do is that if there's flaws or there's holes in
they'll
like
find
the
it.
art piece, they will find it, and they will expose it louder than it really is.
For sure.
You know, so I'm excited to see how it plays out though.
But you know what's funny is knowing Jordan Peterson, and I don't know him, but like his personality, he welcomes that.
Yeah.
He welcomes the holes to be found so that he can plug them.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I mean, he seems genuine.
He does.
And he seems like, and here's the thing though, even if he wasn't, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, because he's, you know, been a professor at Harvard doing psychology for years and years and years. He knows how the human brain works.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that course might be a viable option. And, you know, I'll go as far as to say, and I'm sure, I mean, I don't know, I think didn't you take some audio courses online? Probably?
I've taken probably 50.
50 paid?
Yeah.
50 paid. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because it's a never ending learning cycle. Like there's new products coming out. There's always, it's like not everyone hears everything the same. So there's like, I've probably learned from 30 different engineers because they all mix differently, and their mixes, they all sound great, but they sound different. And I want to know why, like he does this or they do that, because they just hear it differently. Yeah. And so, and it's not like, not all of them have costed an arm and a leg or anything. A lot of them have actually been pretty cheap, because they care about the community. They want to, enhance the actual, audio engineer community. So they're not trying to just murder people with, this course is hundreds of dollars. And, no, it's like $50. And that's like hard to pass up.
Yeah, I mean,
if learning from a professional for $50,
and you got some skin in the game, so you're probably gonna pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the skin in the game mentality is good to an extent. I don't think it's $100,000 good and debt.
Right.
Because I think like so many people start that, and I guess that's the biggest point I'll give to joining the workforce out of college, or finding a way cheaper education offer. If like you don't have the money and FAFSA won't, cover it, and there's just something weird going on, whatever. Like I think that's probably a viable option. Yeah. Like I think I'd rather learn from people online. I would rather, pick up a sales job, maybe like selling cars, or like just something where it's going to translate. Because like once you have like, oh, I was the #1 seller at my dealership for like 5 or 6 years, I mean, we've seen it happen time and time again. Then you get picked up by a bigger company, and then all of a sudden you have this image that you can sell online. What I'm saying? And I think that's going to be a huge business soon. It already is, being a personality on the internet. Right. I mean, so much leverage, and just like, capital gain for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But
yeah.
It's that's I think that's probably like the line, you know, it's a financial difference, and it's also like an attention difference. It's like, what do you care more?
Good. Yeah.
Which one are you going to focus on more? Yeah. Which one do you care about? Because I know people who hate school. I know people who hate work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like pick your poison.
Yeah.
But I think everyone starts on the same side of the fence, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have different hands, but like, you know, you can turn your hand into anything. I think that's the good thing about this world. Like, you know, I mean, it does take some luck. Like, you can't hit a deer and then your house burned down and then, you know, like you lose an arm or whatever. Like, you know, it's luck to an extent, but like reasonable luck.
Yeah.
You know, like base luck, you know?
Totally.
But that accompanied with a will to learn and a desire to succeed, and, you know, wanting more for not only yourself, but your family, for, you know, your kids.
Yeah. Right.
I think that motivates you a lot. And not only that, like, just look at the people around you and be like, you know, I'm competing every day I wake up. And if you have any sort of semblance of a winner inside of you, that'll wake you up on its own. You know, like, you can, like, if you're competing against someone from high school or, you know, your job or whatever, and you just say in your head, like, you know, don't let it ruin your day or anything. Yeah. But like, when you're like, okay, I'm not going to be average, I'm not going to fall in the middle of the pack. Right. You know, think about where you're going to be at. Like, think about, I mean, you know, it's not even about like going back to your like high school reunion or whatever and being like, oh, I did this and that and the other. But like, people are watching. Yeah. People are watching you so intently every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you realize it or not, whether you want it or not, there's no escaping it now. So, you know, are you going to have a positive reflection? Yeah. Or, you know, are you going to blend in with everybody else and just, you know, be like, whatever.
Right. And it depends on what you want. Yeah. Like, some people don't want to be noticed. They don't want to be watched. Fine. They don't want to be famous. They don't want a following. And I get it. Yeah. Like, I totally get that. I understand that.
I do too.
But if you want that, but you're not taking the steps to take that, you know, to go to that, it's like, because you're letting these people hold you back. Yeah. They're not holding you back. You're holding you back. Yeah. You know, and I totally get up. You know, I totally get the thing of waking up and having a winner's mentality. But I don't even like think about other people. I think about like, who was I yesterday and how can I be better than that?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that's probably a more mature way to look at it, is whenever you really get it down to, I mean, I've done better with it, but like getting it down to you versus you. Yeah. You know, because then that's entirely, you know, there's no way around that.
Well, hey, and what about this? What would you tomorrow be happy with what you did today?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, what would, okay. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But it's like, yeah, it's like that constant, you know, I mean, I look back, birthdays are a big, like, you know, kind of checkpoint, I feel like. Markers, where you look back and you're like, okay, where was I on my 19th birthday? Like, what was my financial situation like? What were my aspirations like? Do I have a clearer goal? Am I in better shape? You know, am I closer with God, et cetera, all these things. I feel like if you can check off that list every year, or even get it down to every month and being like, I'm progressionally making better gains. Yeah. You know, just move forward. Yeah. Even if it's small things. Right. You know, and that, you know, that doesn't come down to being better than anybody else. It just comes down to, you know, living a life of, you know, winning.
Growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And growth, yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them. Growth is probably more important, but but I think, you know, winning certainly doesn't hurt.
But in a sense, if you are growing in any way, like, you are winning. Yeah. Because most people aren't growing.
Yeah, a lot of people shrink.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I think that's really true. Now I'm thinking about it, man. Like, all you have to do really to succeed is just take steps forward. Like, you could.
It sounds bad, but like, the bar has never been lower.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's never been lower, man. Right.
It's just like, don't be a complete like screw up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like just take a tiny step forward.
Exactly.
And then take another one the next day. Yeah. And that's it.
And just baby steps, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And whenever you have the energy and the enlightenment and the know-how to take big steps, take them.
Yeah.
Take the risk.
Just, I mean, it's like a you know, a trading account. Like, you know, every year might not be the same percentage, but if you go have a 2% forward year, a 12% forward year, you know, a 5% forward year, it's all accumulated.
It's all forward.
It's all growth forward. You
Yeah.
know? And, you know, I mean, that's kind of the goal at the end of the day, I think.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. I think we can end it there.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I got for you, Lucas.
Oh, good. Because, that's a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below, or, you know, whatever, like and share the video, or if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatever. We just thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. We would love that.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
I would. Lucas would.
Yeah. We don't know about Angie. She's still yelling at the top of her lungs about the biggest podcast studio.
Yeah, no,
in Southern Illinois.
We locked her away in Guantanamo Bay. Yeah. Alrighty.
All right. See you guys.